walking forever. Right, John?
Ever.
Ever.
I had the chance to knock something off of my bucket list by attending my first ever Formula One race in Las Vegas. And while it seemed like a lot of people wanted this to fail, and there were quite a few bumps along the way, I can honestly say that this was an experience that I will remember for a lifetime. So come along with me as we take this ride, and I hope that you enjoy my experience at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So first off, I want to say that this was not my first trip to Las Vegas. This was actually my third trip, but this was my first trip to a sporting event that wasn't held in a controlled, permanent fixture. I had been to NASCAR races, I've been to IRL races, and all kinds of others at permanent tracks. So this was my first time getting to see what a street course really was like. And it was so cool to get checked into my hotel and then just walk down Harmon to see exactly where these drivers would all be performing and just have a chance to walk the track. And this was a cool part right here where you can see that they came off of Las Vegas Boulevard, off of the strip, taking a hard left-hander onto Harmon. And again, it's just so cool to see the number of people in this area and to think that in just a few hours, there are going to be cars ripping it down this area.
I saw a pretty cool graphic today that talked about how this course is a bit of a hybrid, it feels like. You've got 4 long straights that are gonna get lots of speed, and this down Koval is one of them. And you can actually see one of the big grandstands there facing the Sphere. So it's gonna be really wild to see what kind of speeds they come up here to this really tight loop that they're gonna make around or near the Sphere. Like I said, there are 4 main straights, and this is actually one of them comes down into this really hard right-hander. And one of the cool details that I've seen a little bit about are all the curbs have the suits of the different cars. Real, Las Vegas, giving it that extra little tint. But yeah, you're gonna come flying down this straight, brake hard right, and into the T-Mobile fan zone around the Sphere. And that's where I'm gonna be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
A common misconception about the desert is that it never rains. And it was actually supposed to rain on Friday night during qualifying is what they were calling for, but wouldn't you know it, I left my rain gear at home. So I was really happy when I saw that the rain got moved up to Wednesday night, although I'm sure the workers weren't really appreciative of that. But it was really cool to see all the machinery that they were bringing out, because this was the first time that they shut the course down so that they could check the lights, so that they could make sure that the barriers all went in place the way they needed to, and so that they could put those final tweaks before free practice 1. And it was just so cool to see all these workers working so hard to make this happen.
It's Thursday morning, had a pretty productive morning, got some breakfast, tried to sleep in so that I could get my body more acclimated to this time zone. I'm 3 hours behind where I normally am, so made myself stay up till almost midnight last night so that I could enjoy the festivities all weekend without too many side effects. I still can't get over how cool it is to say that I am at a Formula One race here in Vegas, and everything looks so cool. I missed a couple things last night, didn't get to go to opening ceremony, wasn't really invited, didn't have a ticket, and missed the pace car, actually the safety car, making some laps around the track. That would have been cool to see. But we're gonna go meet up with John and Chris and get this day started. Then tonight is free practice 1.
When I met with John and Chris, John was really excited to take me to Shelby American. And as a motorsport fan, as a car guy, I loved this experience. But I'm not really gonna show the whole experience here. I'm actually gonna save this for another video because I think there's enough content there that I can do something better. So I'll just let you enjoy a few of the sights that I saw when I went through these doors. Now at this point, I've been in Las Vegas for roughly 24 hours and the action is about to ramp up because they're starting with the road closures. They're starting to change the traffic patterns so that they can close the track. And it is just so cool to see how they were working in tandem to get this all worked out. Oh yeah, by the way, these supercars were across the road from me in the Virgin, and it was really cool because John actually knows who owns these. But enough of these cars, it's time to see the cars that we actually came for do some actual racing on the course. Or so I thought.
Walking forever. Right, John?
Ever.
Ever, ever, ever.
So my 3-day ticket to the event, which cost me roughly $500, was in the T-Mobile zone at the Sphere. And I'm gonna admit, I had some buyer's remorse when I first purchased this ticket, but I didn't know what all I was getting at the time. And boy, was I surprised, because if you look at all this food, this was all included in the cost of my ticket. We got free Wolfgang Puck food all weekend long.
So one of the questions I've been asked by a couple friends that are like, man, why are you going into and doing this thing, is because in the fan zone, it's free food. Yeah. We got what, Asian chicken salad, a prime rib, grilled cheese, chicken and waffles, and then an apple cider donut. And all this is included in the price of admissions.
Once we got some food in our bellies, it was time to check out everything that there was in this area. And I can say that they did a great job with this. There were lots of drink stations where you could get free water and free sodas, or you could pay for your alcohol. They had plenty of souvenir tents, and then there was a covered bridge over into the actual track. And this is my first time seeing my area where I'm going to be able to stand during the race, and it was just so cool to be that close to the track. Quick shout out here to one of my favorite IndyCar personalities and podcasters, Connor Daly. One of the things that really made this event so successful is the fact that they had so many LED big screen TVs around that you could watch all the action on the track. Kudos to Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Grand Prix for really thinking about the fan experience, at least there in the T-Mobile zone.
You'll see people getting away with using about as much as this track is the paint on the road, right? It's the street circuit. So when you're science, oh my, no, looks a little smoky. So let's kind of what's the procedure here? I get obviously you've got to come in, but you don't know. I don't think it's going to take.
So last night was a little bit of a bust. Free practice 1 only had, 9 minutes before Carlos Sainz hit a water valve cover, a manhole cover, and tore up the bottom of his car. So I did not get to see free practice 2. I wasn't about to stay up till 2:30. So now that I've had some breakfast, I'm headed in. Ooh, it's loud. Gonna meet up with John and Chris again, and we'll see what we get into.
I cannot emphasize enough how cool it was to just walk around and see all the different infrastructure pieces that they put in to make this event a success. Like those covered bridges that everybody seemed to hate, all the different pit walls, the signage, everything was just so cool to be able to actually see it and not just in little spurts when you're around the track.
All right, so here's what I was talking about. This isn't the exact spot, but you can see here that they've patched a couple of those water valve covers so that they won't come flying up during free practice 2, free practice 3 tonight, and qualifying of the race. But it's cool to see that they've identified these and now started patching them.
While I had been to Las Vegas twice before, I had actually never been to downtown, the old strip, the old area where everything used to happen. And this was so cool. I feel bad for this guy. I don't know what was going on, but he got stuck. But it was just so neat to see this area on Fremont Street and all the really cool parts of old Las Vegas and yet the new Las Vegas. They still had the street performers. They still had all the cool stuff, but it was really neat to see the history of Las Vegas in this area.
But it's 5:15 on Friday evening, getting ready for free practice 3, followed by qualifying, and yeah, headed up to the carriage house to meet up with John and Chris, and then we're gonna try something different tonight. We're not gonna go the sketchy back way that we went yesterday. That took us all kinds of different ways and just didn't seem efficient. So we're gonna take the monorail tonight, and we're gonna go to the Venetian, and we're gonna go in through the Sands entrance there. So we're gonna get to see some racing tonight, some free practice, followed by qualifying at midnight local time. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I guess we go up.
More than 9 minutes tonight. That's my goal.
So on Thursday night, John, Chris, and I made the mistake of walking the long way. I thought it was actually going to be a lot easier. It turned out to be the wrong decision. So we opted to take the tram this time, and boy, was that a great experience. Just walking through the Venetian and into a different area where there was very minimal line. There was a massive line on the other side of the track. Coming in this way was much better experience, and you got to go right into this awesome fan zone. By the way, this stage is where they had all kinds of events. They had numerous DJs, some musical events, but some of the best ones are coming up, and I don't want to ruin that experience. Of course, no evening at the race was complete without getting our free food, and it was just so fun to continually try the different pieces and see how they changed day to day. And here were probably my favorite 2 events. First, Cirque du Soleil. I've seen them in Augusta before, but this was a whole different experience, and I love how they change year to year. And then honestly, no trip to Las Vegas these days seems complete without seeing the Blue Man Group. This was my first ever experience seeing them live, and this alone was worth the $500 to get to see what it is that they do live. It's just an absolute amazing experience here. I'll shut up and let you listen in.
Setups. I've heard from a few of my engineering friends.
And now finally, we get to experience some actual fast cars on the track for longer than 9 minutes. It was so awesome. Yes, it was standing room only, but I highly recommend being down near the catch fence, near the wall, because you just cannot experience the speed, the smells, the sound like you can right there against the track.
But still, with just 2 races to go in the championship, they're still playing with the cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the position where you want to be towards the end, it seems like everyone's kind of on the list is maybe too many. There's a lot of speed and this track
So not only did I get to experience the speed, the sounds, the smells down right next to the track during free practice 3, John's wife actually went back to the hotel room during qualifying, and I got to sit up in his seats. And this was also a great experience. It was nice to have a seat where I could sit and enjoy, because honestly, once you've seen a couple cars go by, you kind of, you want to take a break. But it was just so exciting to watch everything and see how it all unfolded during qualifying. And finally, it was time for race day. We didn't really do a whole lot during the day because we just wanted to save up all our energy for this. So little did I know when I took this video, that's actually Tony Kanaan doing a ride-along in that McLaren. We saw this experience all weekend long in between the different sessions, and it was really cool to find out that you could pay for this experience, and chances are you may have gotten somebody like Tony Kanaan to drive you in fast laps around the strip. Talk about an experience. One of the coolest parts about this experience was the fact that my best friend Joey, he was able to fly in from a job that he was doing, and he was able to share the experience with me. This was also his first F1 race.
Lights on the starting gantry, and when the lights go out, the race is on. Here they come.
If not potentially a red, I'm okay, he's told everyone.
That's turn 12, I believe.
Well, turn 8.
Gee, things are going to be completely...
The fact that I had John, Chris, and Joey there, it's just having friends like that around you when you take these experiences that make it that much better. Formula One is such a cool sport, and I'm so glad that I got to go to it here in Las Vegas, but it would not have been nearly as much fun had I done this alone. All in all, I know it seemed like a lot of people wanted this to fail, but I can honestly say that this experience was well worth the $500 that I spent on my ticket, and I would not change it for the world. It was so awesome to see those cars in person, hear the sounds, smell the smell of race fuel being burned, and just, man, talk about a bucket list item. I cannot wait for my next race day experience, whether that's NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA, another Formula One race. Who knows what the next event will be. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting like, be a friend, tell a friend, and I will catch you in another video.